Hi guys, so tonight we're gonna read a Peter Pan bedtime story by Disney. Deep in the heart of London was the house where a Darling family lived. Wendy Darling shared a nursery with her two younger brothers, John and Michael. At bedtime, Wendy told her brothers stories about a faraway place in Neverland. The hero of these stories was Peter Pan, a boy who never grew up. I don't know that. Peter's special friend was a tiny fairy called Tinker Bell. John and Michael loved to act out these stories in which Peter had wonderful adventures. One night, when the children were fast asleep, Peter Pan and Tinker Bell flew in through the nursery window. They had to search for Peter's shadow. It had escaped the night before while Peter was listening at the window to one of Wendy's stories. Just then, Wendy woke up. She was thrilled to meet Peter Pan and agreed to help him and Tinker Bell. Tinker Bell captured the mischievous shadow. Wendy told Peter that tonight was her last night in the nursery. Because she was growing up, Wendy was to have a bedroom of her very own. Okay, fly with me to Neverland, Peter agreed. Oh, this is the Big Ben. Okay. You never have to grow up here. Wendy agreed at once. As long as her brothers would come too. So Peter told Wendy, John, and Michael too, to each think a wonderful thought. Then he shook Tinker Bell over them, sparkling them with pixie dust. I didn't heard about pixie dust. Before they knew it, the excited children were soaring high above the rooftops of London. They actually okay. We'll take the second star to the right and fly star on until morning, Peter called, leading the way, but the time the children flew over the enchanted world of Neverland. Neverland means you're never gonna grow up. I want to grow up. All was not well. Tinker Bell was becoming jealous of Wendy and Peter. Screamed to like her far too much. Luckily, Peter managed to catch Wendy before she crashed to the ground. He was furious with Tinker Bell. I forgot. Without waiting for the others, Tinker Bell flew straight to Peter's hideout. This was where his friends were the the lost boys also live. The spiteful fairy told the lost boys that a terrible Wendy bird was hiding their way, and that Peter Pan ordered them to attack it. When Peter Pan and the darling children flew into the sight, the lost boys used their capsules and parachutes to knock the Wendy bird out of the sky. Is it Tinkerbell? I don't know. I want him to hurt. Luckily, Peter Pan managed to catch Wendy before she crashed to the ground. He was furious with Tinkerbell. As the punishment, he sent the naughty fairy away for a week. What, a week? Later that day, Peter sent John, Mike, and Michael and the lost boys of the captured Indians. Well, he took Wendy a tour in the island. The boys set off their adventure and soon arrived at the clearing in the middle of the wood. We must surround the enemy and take them by surprise. John whispered. But the Indians have disguised themselves as trees and took the boys by surprise. Instead, the boys were captured and taken back to the Indian village. Ooh, that's dangerous, Indians. Oh my God. Meanwhile, Peter had taken Wendy to the beautiful mermaid lagoon. Suddenly, Peter spotted a little rolling boat in the distance. Why, it's Captain Hook! He cried. Captain Hook was a wicked pirate in Peter Pan's greatest enemy. Once, in a ferret battle, Peter had cut off Hook's hand. The pirate now had a terrible steel hooks screwed to his left wrist. A hungry crocodile had eaten the pirate's hand. He had enjoyed his meals so much that he now followed Hook everywhere, hoping for a chance to gobble up the rest of him. At least he didn't die. I wish I don't get my right hand, or else I cannot draw, or else I'm gonna throw all of my art things there. But I have to practice using my left hand. Peter and Wendy followed Hook as he headed towards the Skull Rock. Peter was shocked to see Indian Princess Tiger Lily Tiger Lily. Ooh, she looks pretty. And in the boat too, he and Wendy watched as Hook tried the princess to a rock in the sea. Peter knew he had to help. If you don't tell me where Peter Pan's hideout is, the wicked pirate snarled at Tiger Lily's. Is Tiger Lily's? I'll leave you here to drown. Tiger Lily was frightened, but she refused to betray her friend. This looks like the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Smith? Smith.
Oh, yes. Ooh. Oh, that's the hungry crocodile.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly, Peter flew in front of Hook. You again? The captain cried, rushing at Peter's with his sword. Hook slipped. At least he has a weapon.
Yeah.
So he can fight. When Hook slipped and only just managed to grab hold of the rocks to stop himself from falling into the sea. Down below, the crocodile snapped hungrily. Mr. Smith. The boatman rushed over the pulled Hook into the growling boat. As Mr. Smith hastily round back to the pirate ship, the crocodile was snapping right behind him. Peter and Wendy rescued the Tiger Lily and took her home. The Indian chief had been very worried about his daughter and was overjoyed to see her safe. To thank Peter, he set John and Michael and the lost boys free and named Peter and Chief. This is his daughter. Where's her mom? Where is her mom? At last, tired out after their adventures, Peter and the children returned to Peter's secret hideout. Meanwhile, Captain Hook was back on his... Oh, just wait. Pause it. Hideout. Meanwhile, Captain Hook was back on his ship trying to get warm. He was furious that Peter Pan had outwitted him again. His left hand is cut already, and I hope his right hand is saved. I hope.
Okay.
Even when he's a villain.
Keep on reading so you will know.
All of the sudden, Hook thought of a brilliant plan. He had discovered that Peter was crossed with Tinkerbell and had sent her away for a week. So the wicked pirate ordered Mr. Smith to lead the little fairy to the ship that very night. Dun, dun, dun. Oh no! Okay. Oh, I can see. That evening, evening, Hook welcomed Tinkerbell on board his ship. He told her that he needed her help to catch Wendy. All she had to do was show Hook where Peter's hideout was. Tinkerbell was delighted to help. She dipped her toes in a bottle to leave ink the dance across a map of Neverland. Her footprints nearly showed the way to Peter's hideout. Hook smiled. He grabbed Tinkerbell and locked her in a glass lantern. At last oh my gosh, he could get his revenge on Peter Pan once and for all. I'm almost done with the story. Okay. Back at Peter's hideout, Wendy and John and Michael were feeling homesick. I want my mother, sobbed Michael. And all thought the Lost Boys didn't know what a mother was. What? Didn't know what a mother was? They decided they wanted buenos too. So Wendy promised that they would go back to her London home together. Peter didn't want to leave Neverland and grow up. I really want to grow up. He watched gloomily as his friends waved goodbye. Goodbye, Peter, said Wendy before she left. I'll never forget you. Okay. How do we turn the page? But Captain Hook and the other pirates were outside the hideout. The pirates captured the children and took them back to Hook's ship, where they tied them to the ship mast. Before Hook returned to the ship, he left a parcel for Peter. It had a label on that said, "To Peter, with love from Wendy." Back on the board his ship, Hook snarled at the children. You have a choice: either sign you name the book and join the pirate band, or walk the plank, he said. The boys quietly liked the idea of becoming pirates, but when he didn't, Peter Pan will save us. Peter Pan will save us, she said. Hook laughed loudly. Ha 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 ha. save you this time. He sneered. Well, left a surprise present for him, a bomb. Very soon, hell being blown out of Neverland forever. Oh my gosh. Hearing these words, Tinkerbell knew she had to warn Peter. She struggled in her glass prison. Sadly, there was a loud crack. The glass lantern broke, and Tinkerbell was free. The tiny fairy reached Peter's hideout just as she was about to open the parcel. She grabbed the bomb and threw it far away as she could. Seconds later, there was a huge explosion. Then Tinkerbell told Peter and that Wendy and the others were in danger. Peter sped off to rescue them with Tinkerbell's clothes behind. Oh, I'm almost done. Okay. This is my favorite part. I watched some of the movie, not all.
Are you having fun
Yeah,
with the story?
Look how many pages did I read. Meanwhile, Hook already 24 and 25. Meanwhile, Hook had forced Wendy to walk the plank. When she stepped off the plank, everybody waited for the splash. As she hit the water, but never came. Peter Pan had arrived just in time to lift Wendy safely back into the ship. He returned to his face enemy. There was a loud crash of the steel. Peter, Danger, and Hook's sword met. Back in north, they went to the most terrible battle ever fought. Still fighting, they climbed up to the top of the ship's rigging. Hook, what is this? Longed at Peter, who fought back, finally forcing the captain to slip and fall backwards. Dun, dun, dun. Oh no! Poor Hook. Waiting for him in the water below was a hungry crocodile. The children clapped and cheered as they watched Hook trying to escape the crocodile snapping jaws. Hook spotted Mr. Smee in a rolling boat and swam towards him, but the crocodile was right behind and catching up as Hook disappeared in the distance. distance, Peter gave the order to rise in orchard. Then Tinkerbell sprinkled the pirate ship with magic pixel dust. In no time, at all the ship was snoring high above Neverland and hiding back towards London. Oh, that's my favorite. Okay. Ooh, I'm done. Soon Wendy, John, and Michael were safely back in the nursery. And up in the sky, still held against the full moon was the outline of the pirate ship. Peter Pan and Tinkerbell and the Lost Boys, who aren't quite ready to grow up yet, were off another wonderful adventure. The end. I hope you like my story. Don't forget to hit that notification bell and see you on the next try. Tomorrow, bedtime story, we're gonna read, where is that Snow White? We're gonna read the story of Snow White. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and we'll see you on the next time.